In the fading twilight of the 19th century, some figures became more than mere mortals. They transformed into legends whispered across the vast, untamed expanse of the American West. Such is the story of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, whose names became synonymous with daring heists and a defiance of the encroaching modern world. Their tale is not just one of crime, but of a charismatic duo who captured the imagination of a nation. Embodying the last vestiges of the Wild West's romantic, albeit violent, spirit. They were the architects of a criminal empire and the protagonists of their own grand, tragic adventure. In the late 1890s, Robert Leroy Parker, better known as Butch Cassidy, brought together a loose-knit gang of outlaws that would go down in history as the Wild Bunch. Cassidy was the mastermind, a charming and affable leader known for his meticulous planning and a preference for avoiding bloodshed whenever possible. His most famous associate was Harry Longabaugh, the Sundance Kid, a quick-tempered and deadly marksman who served as the gang's muscle. Together, they orchestrated a series of audacious bank and train robberies across several states. From Wyoming to New Mexico, their operations were distinguished by their boldness and ingenuity, often utilizing dynamite to crack open safes and making their escapes through a network of remote hideouts, the most famous of which was the formidable Hole in the Wall in Wyoming, an almost impenetrable natural fortress. The Wild Bunch's escalating success inevitably drew the attention of powerful railroad and banking magnates, who enlisted the formidable Pinkerton National Detective Agency to hunt them down. The Pinkertons, relentless and equipped with modern methods of identification and communication like telegraphs and printed wanted posters, began to close the net. The pressure became immense, forcing Cassidy and his gang to constantly be on the move. The once safe hideouts became temporary respites in a life of perpetual flight. One by one, members of the Wild Bunch were captured or killed, and the legendary gang began to dissolve under the weight of the relentless pursuit. For Cassidy and Sundance, the American West was no longer a sanctuary but a closing trap. Seeking to escape the long arm of American law, Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, and his companion Etta Place made a fateful decision in 1901. They boarded a ship to Argentina, hoping to begin a new life far from the reach of the Pinkertons. For a time, they achieved a semblance of peace, purchasing a ranch in the remote Colilla Valley and attempting to live as respectable ranchers. However, the lure of their old ways proved too strong, or perhaps the need for money too great. Soon, reports of daring bank and payroll robberies, executed with a familiar flair, began to surface across Argentina and neighboring Chile. The outlaws were once again living on the run, trading their pastoral dreams for the adrenaline of the heist in a new, unfamiliar wilderness. The end for the legendary duo is shrouded in mystery and folklore, but the most widely accepted account places their final moments in the small mining town of San Vicente, Bolivia. In November of 1908, after a payroll robbery, they were reportedly cornered by a detachment of Bolivian soldiers. A fierce shootout ensued, trapping the two outlaws inside a small boarding house. Rather than be captured, it is believed that a wounded Cassidy took his own life after ending the suffering of his gravely injured friend, the Sundance Kid. Though their demise was unceremonious and far from home, their story did not end there. Though their time on the world stage was a brief, blazing trail across two continents, the legacy of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid endures. A testament to the enduring myth of the American outlaw, they were transformed from wanted criminals into folk heroes, symbols of freedom and resistance against an industrializing world that had no place for them. Their tale continues to be told and retold, a romanticized epic of friendship, adventure, and a final, defiant stand against the relentless march of time, forever etched into the legend of the West.